I'm going to warn you right now. This video starts with Goth. But if you think this video is all just about Goth, then you're going to miss the point entirely, because this happens every single time. It's a formula. A community will spend years, sometimes even decades, building something. A culture, a language, a community, something there. A way of looking at the world that ends up being a refuge for people that just don't fit in anywhere else. They build it from nothing and get mocked for it. Some people even get harassed personally, even online. They get beat up in person, kids at school. And people come together and create some sort of meaning out of that shared struggle. And then the internet shows up and asks a very simple question. Can this be monetized? And that is where everything begins to rot. Because the internet does not preserve culture. It doesn't even participate in culture. It's a vulture. It circles over a head, waits for something to die, and then it swoops down for the parts, all the scraps left behind. It leaves a hollowed out, digestible corpse, perfectly ripe for mass consumption. So for a couple of weeks now, I've noticed online, and I might be kind of late to this thing I'm talking about here, like sort of what I'm talking about, because I've seen it pop up in some of the alternative feeds that I watch, some people that I follow. People keep going like, oh, what's real goth? Who's goth? Who's fake? Who's a poser? Gatekeeping and TikTok goth girlfriends. People spitting in each other's mouths just for a little bit of engagement. It's a goddamn circus. And in the middle of all of this noise, somehow most of the people have missed the real issue going on here. This didn't occur because there was a sudden spark in all these other people that suddenly had some deep appreciation for the goth culture, the music around it, because that's what it is. It's a subculture. It's a musical-based subculture. I'm not going to get into the history of it, but that is what it is. So don't be naive, because social media turned what was an identity into a category, turned subculture into performance pieces. And that brings me to my first point. Seriously, when the fuck did we stop being part of a community and then we just started shopping around for personalities? It's a complete transaction now. You don't become part of something. You just buy the outfit. Learn those buzzwords from a TikTok summary. Post a video of you dancing to a song you only just discovered yesterday. Well, congratulations. Apparently you're an expert now. You listened to 2 Bauhaus songs. You watched a few reels on TikTok or Instagram of how to be goth. You bought some cheap-ass fishnets off of a website that uses slave labor in another country. Welcome to the culture. Here's your fucking membership card. No, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Culture isn't just clothes or makeup. Culture isn't a fucking aesthetic you can just buy at a Hot Topic. Culture is shared experience. It's music that you discovered with other people inside of a grimy club. It's shared in spaces where, for the first time in maybe your entire life, you felt like you belonged somewhere. It's shared values, shared experiences that signal to another person, hey, I see you. I get it. You're not alone. It's built on people, not algorithms or engagement metrics. And this is where you have to bring in the real villain of this entire story, capitalism. Here's something about capitalism. It's incredibly breathtaking at one thing, at doing one particular thing. Taking something that was deep, had significance, was memorable, and had so much nuance to it, and then removing every single thing that made it valuable to begin with, sells that hollow shell of what was once a thriving subculture for $19.99. Think about it. Pride, for example, went from being a riot, like an actual riot against police brutality, to rainbow-themed merchandise that you'll see in Walmart and Target and wherever the fuck else. They post it all over the fucking place. That's not to take a jab at Pride Month. Like, I support it. I'm inherently part of it. But we all know that these companies, they don't give a shit about Pride. They don't care. They don't care about you or me. They will slap that rainbow sticker on whatever the hell for a month and then go out behind the scenes and then donate to an anti-gay politician. Also, like, Christmas is like supposed to be like a holiday about a poor refugee family now turned into this orgy of consumerism, of debt. Punk went from being an anti-authoritarian movement to a $100 mohawk at some fancy salon. They sell Che Guevara t-shirts at Walmart, for fuck's sakes. Yoga went from being a spiritual practice to being an expensive workout class. Meditation used to be a monastic practice, and now it's just like some app for $5. You go ahead and meditate so you can get back to fucking work, be a more productive employee. Minimalism, nature, rebellion, everything. The markets don't care what something means. They only care about the value that it could bring. They only care whether or not it sells. And before some smooth-brained dickbag goes into the comment section and just writes out, oh, it's not that deep. Yes, it actually is that deep, okay? History isn't just made out of aesthetics, it's made of people. People who built communities from the ground up. People who started bands and clubs and venues. People that made art that got them kicked out of their homes. People that were ostracized and beat up. But then they would go out and support each other because that's all we had. And then 20 years later, some influencer that wasn't even born at that time goes out and points at all of that pain. They point out all of that history and struggle. Then they do a 30-second skit and get 2 million views. And then that suddenly becomes the face of the entire culture. No, it became an algorithm, a product. And it isn't just happening to goth. It is happening to everything. Christianity goes, oh, Jesus wants you to be rich. Socialism becomes, I want free stuff. Atheism becomes, I hate Christians and love science. Punk becomes a mohawk. Metal just becomes some dude growling into a microphone. Gaming becomes streamer culture and donations. Everything feels flattened and just compressed into a marketable caricature, because complexity does not go viral. Nuance doesn't sell t-shirts. Caricatures do. Maybe I'm just getting old. Perhaps every generation says the same thing about the next one, but I don't fucking think so. Because I don't actually care if people dress goth. I don't give a fuck if some random ass 16-year-old in Ohio discovered the cure through TikTok. I think that shit is great. I want people to find these communities. I want people to have that feeling of belonging. What bothers me, what genuinely gets under my skin, is where we're getting to the point where we can no longer tell the difference. The difference between participation in a culture and just consuming it. Culture isn't something that you wear, nor is it a filter that you just use on your Instagram story. It's something that you help build, something that you can contribute to. It's a conversation that you have with the past and the future. It's something that you leave better than when you found it. No algorithm can do that. It can only imitate it. It can only create this shallow, parasitic imitation of life. It's a digital ghost in the machine, and it's haunting every single community that we have ever built. And honestly, I think that should scare the living shit out of everyone. So yeah, if you made it this far, thanks for watching. Please drop a like, subscribe. It really does help. So yeah, anyways, I will see you all in the next one.